Hey, looks like might be able to get Mike Gravel to come to the show, and
Oh, really? That's
going to
cool.
another one as well.
Oh, real cool. Jonathan Martin just emailed and said he'll be about 5 minutes late, but Paul Kane just called and said he's on his.
Oh, he is.
He's downstairs.
Downstairs. Okay, let's go down.
Hi there, DomeNation subscribers, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. We're back up here on the top of 101 Constitution, the dome here in the background. It's DomeNation. I'm Jerome Armstrong, my co-host.
And I'm David All. Welcome back to DomeNation. One of the intersections of technology and politics that we haven't yet talked about is the intersection of the media and how the mainstream media is covering politics, especially with the 2008 election. So with us today, we have Paul Kane from WashingtonPost.com and Jonathan Martin with Politico.com. So with that, just wanted to turn it over for a minute. And Paul, if you could just tell us, how has technology specifically changed technology for you as a reporter?
Technology, in terms of just the day-to-day workings of how it's happened, phenomenally. And every day you have sort of a different new technological tool that you can use. We've got guys at WashingtonPost.com who are sort of building the equivalent of a 21st century watchdog that you usually would have to subscribe to places like CQ or Political Moneyline. I'm able to do reports on my blog, Capital Briefing, based on just the databases that they've built. The most recent one was partisan voting trends. We were able to basically show that in the last few years, not so surprisingly given the polls, Republican partisan unity has been inching down year after year, and on the other hand, House Democrats right now are more unified than any caucus has ever been. I mean, that's just something based on technology and the advances that we've been able to make with databases.
Jonathan, you're over at Politico, and you were there January when they launched.
That's right.
How's it been there? What's the experience been like?
It's been very positive. You know, we're trying to really exploit the opportunities that new media provides, taking advantage of, blogs, but also, video and interactivity with readers. I think one of the great things about new media and the internet is that sort of the walls have come down between readers and reporters, and so we're now able to interact with the folks who are reading our stuff, and they can email or IM us or leave comments and sort of give us tips or advice, or sometimes, believe it or not, even critique our work.
Well, how does that feel? I mean, do you read the comments and
Sure.
You take that criticism? I mean, it's been a new experience, I'm sure, for both of you guys to be able to be on the receiving end here.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's constructive and actually very helpful. Other times it's not so much helpful.
I was getting emailed comments, in addition to the comment section of my blog, I was getting emails from readers during the House Judiciary hearings with Monica Goodling, the Gonzalez aide, testifying. And there were a couple of suggestions, thoughts that they offered. Would she be disbarred? Does the immunity deal cover her legal license? And I remember thinking, wow, I don't know. This is a good question. And I actually started asking those questions.
And also, I would just add, to borrow Tom Friedman's now overused phrase, but it's had the effect of sort of flattening not just the world, but also sort of our world in political journalism, media, that is, in the sense that, the connection between us here in Washington, D.C. and political activists in Iowa or South Carolina and New Hampshire, the distance is now next to nothing, because we're all reading the same sites and we're all sort of following the same stories. And so, I can have an email, back and forth with a guy in Des Moines or Manchester or Columbia, South Carolina, and have a pretty good sense of what's happening there in South Carolina. Now, it still helps to be there on the ground talking to folks, but, thanks to sort of email and the internet, you can really have a good sense of what's happening in those traditional early primary states here in the comfort of Washington, D.C.
Real quick, I think that we would all like to know your top 3 blogs that you guys read every day that aren't your own websites or your colleagues or mainstream media websites, but grassroots political blogs. What are you guys reading?
Definitely the one that I like to go to every day. Right-wingers might not like it, but the guys at Talking Points Memo, and specifically TPM Muckraker, they just do a lot of their own work plowing through documents and some real, genuinely investigative, quasi-investigative work. Off the top of my head, that would probably be number one, just because of the real, true, independent work that they do.
Right.
On the right, Red State. I don't know. And then I don't want to leave out my colleagues, but I like the guys at Politico. I like Patrick O'Connor and Bresnahan, the Crypt. But I guess I'm not allowed to say them, but I did. There. Find me.
I would just say too that TPM, which Paul mentioned, it's actually a great example of a website or a blog that has really sort of pioneered and sort of blazed a new path, in the sense that traditionally blogs have sort of commented on other folks' reporting. They've had some really smart commenting and some really great sort of commentary, but it's been largely just that, sort of observations and analysis. TPM sort of gone to that next level and started to do more of their own reporting and their own shoe leather, and they sort of gone that next step, which not a lot of blogs have.